delete that.
What's up, guys? Chris RZ28 back again. Thank you for joining me. I am back here behind the Damaged Justice kit, and as you can see, I'm just kind of sprucing up. We are going to move the EAD 10 system. We're going to move it over to the Wherever I May Roam tour kit, Black Album tour kit, whatever you prefer calling it, and we're going to do a couple months over there. So I know we just did a big video and we cleaned all these up, but the sawdust just gets out of control. So I'm just sprucing up, cleaning up. We're going to move over there. I wanted to take a minute to thank everybody for, you know, commenting and watching the one cover vid. I can't get my words out today. The one drum cover video I did a couple weeks ago. I appreciate you tuning in and watching that. It was pretty popular. A lot of people liked it. So thank you very much. I appreciate your time, as always. I thought the hi-hats were too loud, honestly. But other people thought it was okay. So I gotta handle this. So I have some Zildjian low-volume hi-hats on order. Let's see how that does. You know, worst case scenario, we sell them. I mean, junk them. I got them used, so I got them for a decent price. But it is what it is. Something's got to be done. Hopefully that helps, because I have no other ideas. Anyway, before we get started with episode 2, I realized that I've never shown the last space I have left. That's right, I have space for one more drum kit, so I'm going to do 2 drum kits. I've never shown anybody. You've never seen it, so the next 2 days are going to be really shitty, really rainy, so I'm going to spend them down here kind of cleaning out that room and prepping it, getting it down to bare bones so we could, you know, start prepping for a pad and stuff like that. So anyway, let me cut scene, and we're going to go back there. I'll show you before, and then I'll show you after, and then we are going to get going right. I can't get my words out. We are going to get going right away on episode 2 after I show you what that space looks like. So give me a second, guys. All right, guys, here we go. I wanted to show you this room. I'm actually going to start right now. So I wanted to give you the before shot. This is where I plan on putting the Pour Touring Me kit. I would like to get, in my wildest dreams, I would like to get both kits in here. I don't think it's going to happen, so we're going to have to be creative with what we do with both kits. It's not so much the footprint of the shells that's the problem, because I could get them both in here. When you get the cymbal stands in there, it takes up a lot of room. So anyway, this is the last bit of space I have to work with, and as you can see, it's just kind of a utility room. So let's go through it. I have these boxes, they're garbage, whatever. I mean, I have a furnace here, air conditioning, absolutely cannot move. Hey, there's Dime, huh? There's some shit I gotta like hang up in the garage or down here. Maybe we'll raffle those away, but anyway, this shit can move. I mean, we have a shelf that can move. Water heater has no choice but to stay. Just general hardware. I'd love to keep this. This I need to keep. Here's that 13 by 12. We'll either strip or resell, but then my workbench has got to go. You know, I really don't find myself working on the workbench. This thing has been down here since 2006 when I bought the house. But anyway, I do use the miter saw a lot. But we can move that and get a stand. But this is the last I have to work with. So where we are in the project is I have to clean this room out and get this room prepped. And once I clear it out, I can get a footprint of where the shells are going to sit. And we can go from there. So this is the before shot. I'm actually going to start today clearing this out. And I got to come up with some magic to fit both of these kits. Yeah. So what we'll do, we'll clean it out, we'll get the shells down there, we will take a footprint, we'll get a black carpet, build a pad, and then we will go from there. Once it's all nice and clean and it has a place to live and it's safe from water and everything else, then we will continue going. But there it is, nothing glamorous. There's my furnace where I put all the shit that we bust balls with at work. But so this eventually is going to be the Pour Touring Me tour kit room. And as you know from the rest of the drum room that I've shown you, I can whip any room into shape. We can make it look good, but there are some things I do have to retain over here on this side. So here it is. You've never seen this room. You'll never see it like this again. So here is a documentation of before. So that is important to note, and I'm going to get started on clearing this room out. All right, we will pick this back up when I'm done. All right, guys, thanks. Okay, and with the magic of editing, the past 2 days comes to you in 2 seconds. All the cleaning and lifting and rearranging and junking and sweeping, you didn't have to go through any of that. I took care of it all. 3 seconds, here we are. So this is going to be the Poor Touring Me tour kit room. Basically, it's the same as the others. You just have some block walls and a concrete floor. I spent the past 2 days cleaning it out. It's been shitty out, like I said. I had to throw the workbench away, and I had to do some other rearranging on the shelves. As a homeowner, I've got to have all this hardware. I don't call anybody for shit. I fix everything myself, so I got to have all that. But bare bones, this is what we're left with. I will spare you the tape measure part, but basically I have 11 feet here by 8 feet 7 inches. If you know anything about my other videos and the other pads I've built, that is significantly smaller. I know I told you that I wanted to get both kits in this room. Man, I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Once I got it cleaned, I realized we don't have much space. So if we go long-wise, we have plenty of space for the one kit. Now the problem is, I walk down in this room and I face this way. I don't want to look at the side of the drum kit. I know I've said before, you know, these drum kits, they're just, you know, they're epic to me. They're amazing. They remind me of all things when I was growing up, and they're some of the coolest things I've ever done. And I want to look at them. I want to look at them head on. You know, sometimes I'll find myself, I'll come down here, I'll relax, I'll sit on the pad, and I'll just stare at them. I mean, they're fucking awesome. So I want the kit facing forward. We have 8 feet 7 inches, like I said. I did say I was going to put a black carpet down, but I think what I'm going to do is this whole floor, I'm going to make this whole entire floor a pad. Now, there's going to be some challenges with that pad because, again, like I said, this is my utility room. Nobody probably gives a shit, but we're going to go through it because this is what it takes for the average person to build and house 5 full-size replica tour kits. So when we build the frame, we're going to go, like I said, I'm probably going to do the full 8x7 to get all the space I can do on the side and get this kit, you know, facing me. So we're going to do 8x7. We're going to do probably 11 feet there. We're going to frame that out. And then, of course, 16 inches on center. I'm going to put studs. And this time, and I don't know if you know from the drum room tour, I've always said the pads are 8 inches high. And then you have 3/4 inch plywood on top of that. So you're almost pushing 9 inches over here because of these furnace exhaust pipes. I mean, I don't think the cymbals are going to affect them, but I'm going to go 6 inches high with a piece of 3/4 inch plywood. That'll get me, you know, almost pushing 7. That'll get you 6 3/4 inches, almost pushing 7 inches. We just got to get it off the floor, honestly. I've owned the house for quite some time. When Hurricane Irene ripped through, I got an 1/8 inch of water. And it doesn't get that high, but if anything's sitting on the ground, it will destroy anything touching it. You know, we know these drums are wood, so they all have to be on pads. You know, if something happens and the water starts building up, how am I supposed to lift 5 kits off the ground in a split second and protect them and get them upstairs? And plus, then I got to keep them up there. It's a nightmare. Everything has to be off the ground. I think 6 inches will work. But the challenge down here is, because this is my utility room, everything has to be serviceable. I have to be able to service that. You know, this furnace, God forbid the blower motor ever goes bad. I have to pull this door out and I have to slide the blower motor out. Same thing with the filter. I mean, we're getting deep. We're getting deep into some shit that you never thought you would talk about when it comes to Lars Ulrich replica kits. Look how far this has to slide out. I can't even bend it up too far. So what we're going to have to do when we frame this... Nope, that didn't go back in right. When we frame this, it's going to be kind of unique. Look at me struggling. It's going to be unique because we're going to have cutouts. The frame is going to sit here. I'm going to have to make a cutout, box it out, put a piece of plywood, with its own screws so I can lift it up, change the filter, change the blower motor if I ever have to. We're going to have to box this out. Same thing, 2 pieces of plywood sandwiched together so I can take them off, service that if I ever have to. But when you box this out, you can't get your 16 on center studs, so we're going to have to put it here. It's going to be a unique build. I can handle it. I mean, I'm not a carpenter by trade. I'm pretty much HVAC, electrician, automotive. That's what I've done in my life for trade, but I could still handle it. I'm not a professional carpenter, but I can handle it. So, yeah, I'm taking you down a road you never thought you'd go down. But like I said, it's got to be talked about. It's got to be done. This is the room. Yeah, that's it. We got a window, we got a water heater, we got a furnace, and we'll clean this all up. The walls, what I'd love to do, I'd love to put chain link, but that's too damn. You're talking about another expense. So I'll probably clean these up. I might put a coat of paint. You know how I like to do it. Maybe I'll put the reload poster here, load poster there. I want to get that Tama. I think it came out in the the late 90s with Lars and the Silver Sparkle kit. I want to put that on the back wall. I'll move these around and I'll put some, I'll put some of those Tama Zildjian ads with that kit in it. You know how I do it. And other than that, that's really about it. So the next couple months when I release my videos, I'm probably going to talk about building a pad every single time, and you're going to get sick of hearing it. But what we're going to do is we're going to wait till we get all the shells and all the hardware and everything necessary to build the entire kit before we build the pad. I mean, short of the wrap and the heads and the cymbals, because they still produce that stuff. But I want to have everything completely, what do you say? Completely in my basement, completely ready to go before I build the pad. And then once I have all the necessary pieces, and I know it's for sure going to happen, we'll build the pad. And then we'll put a black carpet on it. We'll make all those necessary cutouts that we have to. And that's where the kit will live. And then I'll continue to build it here. I'll clean up the walls, put the posters up, just like I did in the rest of the house. You'll see, it'll be cool. But, man, I've been talking for 7.5 minutes about some bullshit. But that's what it takes. So now you've seen before, you've seen after. And this is where the Poor Touring Me kit is going to live. And then when we do covers, maybe we'll put like a black curtain up here. So, you're not doing heavy metal and then you have fucking silicone and extension cords and all that crap. And then your furnace and this fucking guy here from... We won't even talk about that guy. So anyway, now let's get on with episode 2. Thanks for listening to me bullshit. What is up, everyone? Welcome to episode 2. Here we go again. We have an adventure today. Continuing the Poor Touring Me 72 Seasons kit. We have an adventure in Danbury, Connecticut, right up the street. So, welcome to episode 2. Thank you for tuning into episode 1. I appreciate all the support and interest that keeps this channel going. This is what we are left with after episode 1, as you've seen. I was on the side of the road in Long Island, and this is what we were able to salvage for the Poor Touring Me kit. We have our 12, our 16, and our 22. So today's adventure, and by the way, I'm just blown away how small these are compared to these and playing these all these years. So this is friggin' small. Anyway, our adventure takes us to Danbury, Connecticut, right up the road. We have a lead on a 22 by 16 for a decent price compared to what's going on the market now on eBay and Reverb on these old Thomas Star Classics. Episode 1, this is what we were left with. We got our 12, our 22, our 16. We're going to check out that 22. I'm going to spare everybody the traveling montage. One is good enough because we're going to be doing that a lot over the next few years. But we are here in home base. We are taking off, and stay tuned. So this one is going to be a house pickup, so I'm not going to film it. I don't think it's right, especially in somebody's property. So we are getting on the road, and stay tuned. All right, guys, what is up? The transaction went beautifully. As you can see, I have a different vehicle today. This is the wife's Tucson, much more well-behaved than the Silverado. But anyway, you are all here, and I am here because of this. Excuse the bags. I guess that's just how women are with this crap. So, the pickup went well. This is our second 16 by 22. And this one ran us $325. So our budget is now $725. We've blown through, but that's how it's going to be when you deal with this old vintage equipment. You are just at the mercy of the market and whatever's available at the time. This one is going to be more expensive and more difficult to get done than the M72 Seasons kit, obviously, for obvious reasons, and it being all in stock with the new Thomas stuff. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that everything went well. This is the drum we picked up. This one has hoops, thank God. Makes it a little easier for me. I can strip these. But beautiful color. Of course, we're not going to keep it that way. We're going to have to wrap this or get it painted. I probably wrap, because even on classic cars that I've seen, you really can't get that kind of silver sparkle, the really kind of deep flakes that it's got in it. But we'll see at the time. But anyway, I'm going to get this home, put it next to the other one, and we will pick up the video there. But just wanted to let you know everything went well. We are here in Danbury at a Stu Leonard's, because you're on an adventure. You got to make it a whole day. But I've been to Danbury many times, picking up many Grand Star pieces, so I am no stranger to this. But let me get back home and we'll pick this up. Thanks, guys. Well, we are back from our small, yet still an adventure. We are back from our adventure today to Danbury, and we have our second kick drum, a 16 by 22 Thomas Star Classic. So I wanted to show you where we are, what we have. I put them next to each other. And this is the beginning stages of the Poor Touring Me Tour Kit. Load, reload, S&M, Garage Inc. You guys know it well. Here it is. This is episode 2. Look at it. I think we've done pretty good so far. For 2 trips out, we did the one in Long Island where we got the red kit, and today's 16 by 22. And I think we've done good so far. So, what do we need? We need a 10 by 10. Which is going to be hard to find. And we need an 18 by 16. Now, let me tell you, anytime you deal with an 18 by 16, whether it's Grand Star, Superstar, they're very hard to find, and they are very, very expensive. So, when we do come across an 18 by 16 Star Classic, I believe it's going to take a significant chunk out of our budget, or at least a big chunk. It is going to be very expensive. Like discussed before, the 18 by 16 is going to run us a bit of money. But that's okay. That's is what it is. I knew that before I took on the project, and I wanted to do this regardless. And like I said, we are going to try and get both of these done cheaper than what it would be to buy the new 72 Seasons Tour Kit. So that's where we are. We have 2 22s, we have a 12, and we have a 16. We need a 10 by 10. I'm sorry, I think we need a 10 by 9. 10 by 10 sounds better. I might do a 10 by 10. Because like I said, I am just amazed in person how small these 22 kicks are with these, with the 10 and the 12. I mean, I know the 10-inch Tom from the one over there, that's a 10 by 10. But I'm just amazed how small it is. Could you imagine if we just put the 12 over here and the other 13 back there? No, we're not going to do that. But Yeah, very small. Lars must be a tiny guy because when you watch this shit on TV, these look gigantic. But anyway, up in person, after you played these and these for a while, these are very small, so I was very surprised. So that's what we need as far as shells. You know the snare situation. I don't have 20 grand to blow on a Bell Brass, the one that he used, or that's the last time when one popped up. It was very expensive. So that's where we sit. This concludes episode 2. I don't know when we're going to get another piece, when something's going to come up, but mind you, I am fully invested in this project. So I am looking and searching, and I am on top of it every day. So when I finish anything, you will see it. That's one of the things I regret with these 3 kits. I didn't document anything, and it bothers me, but it wasn't like that at the time. So the Load Reload kit, the M72 Seasons kit, everything along the way is getting documented. So anyway, that concludes episode 2. This is where we are. Pretty good start. You know what we need. We need the 18, the 10 to complete the shell kit here. Then we'll get going with the M72 Season shells. But anyway, I appreciate, as always, you tuning in and being interested and supporting the channel. It keeps us going. It keeps these projects going. So thank you very much. I am Chris RZ28, and until we meet again, I hope everybody is well. Thanks, guys.
I really don't think so. I really don't think so.